about the Rooney Rule. We have sourced our work for these 5 years around what we call the expansion of the Rooney Rule. We call it the revised Rooney Rule with results, meaning the people of color are considered from entry level to the C-suite and all jobs in between. The hybrid Rooney Rule, Tony Silva, meaning for supplier diversity, the people of color are considered for contractual opportunities, be it building a building, painting the building, putting the floor down, or professional services. Dan Rooney happened to be given the opportunity to lead that effort. And in your program, in that program, in the inner cover, you'll see the plaque that we're giving to Jim, and also the Fritz Pollard Alliance, who did some of the background work that led to the opportunity for Dan Rooney to take the leadership. Dan was one of the champions of our region, one of the class acts of our region, one of the heroes of all of us. And he leaves behind the success of the Rooney Rule across this nation and our efforts in this room to expand the power of the concept. We'd like to bring forward to receive this tribute from Corporate Equity Inclusion Roundtable and the Black Political Empowerment Project, Mr. Jim Rooney.
Thanks, Tim. First I'm here to say thank you. It's a privilege for me to get to stand in recognition of my father in several different venues over the last couple months since he's passed. But this one is truly special. This meant so much to my father. And I want to thank everyone for their courage, everyone for their willingness to continue to push to do the work that was the right thing. You've heard so many things if you've had the chance to hear or read some of the remembrances of my father about what a kind man he was. But he wasn't so kind to his kids. He was pretty tough on us, and he expected us to be great. And his definition of greatness was very, very clear. He said, you do the right thing. And the right thing to him, he had a very clear definition of that. And it wasn't about making the most money. It wasn't about becoming a big dude or becoming famous. It was about when you were done with a project, more people were served well. Things were better off than when you started. And he very much thought that about the Rooney Rule. He understood the limitations of it when he started it, but he also knew that he needed to work with all the folks he'd been working with to take this first step. And that it was about doing the right thing, and that we're all going to have to continue to have that courage, that willingness to continue to do the right thing. It's a privilege for me to get the chance to be a part of that for a brief moment here, but you folks are doing this in such a greater capacity, and Tim has been a friend of my father's and a leader in this effort, and everyone else who's involved. So. It's a privilege to be recognized in that way, and he would be very, very grateful. So thank you very much.
Very quickly, Deb has a very, very short video that we're honored to have here. It was a segment from WQED-TV, the State of Black Pittsburgh, that Esther Bush helped to organize. It featured the CEIR working group. Member Janet Manuel, the Deputy Director of Personnel for the City of Pittsburgh, who's out of town. We wanted to show this quick moment.
These days, businesses, governments, and sports teams are all talking about diversifying their workforces. But how do we make sure diversity and inclusion are more than just buzzwords?
And just recently, Mayor Peduto last month made an executive order, and that is for the city to adopt the Rooney Rule. And so that is one of our initiatives that we are doing to enhance the diversity within our employee workforce. So we encourage every employer within the city of Pittsburgh to replicate what we are doing as the city of Pittsburgh, and that is embrace diversity and inclusion, realize the benefits that it has, that people of different walks of life and backgrounds and education can bring so much to the table that someone else may not have thought of. And that can only enhance their organization.